Now, I know Lord Cat already didn't until we went on this game, but believe me, he missed a lot of the harder sections of the game. So, while I won't go into straight detail like he did in his, I'll just give you a quick little synopsis on every level in the game. Level 1 is the Mushroom Forest, and being the first level, it's also the easiest level in the game. It's the best chance you have of getting used to the controls and mechanics in the game, which are very, very easy to grasp, so you'll never be pushing the wrong buttons at the wrong time. The keys are cleverly hidden in great spots here, like on top of a huge mushroom or underground in the dirt. Just grab your keys and proceed to the next level. Level 2 is the Flower Garden, and this is where you really get to experiment. The keys here are a bit trickier to get this time around, but really not difficult at all. You get the bee and the gorilla in this stage, which are a blast to use. But remember, the bee can only stay up in the air for a little while, and if you exhaust it, well, down the rabbit hole for you, Mr. Anderson. Level 3 is the House of Toys, and I love and hate this level. What I love about it is that you're riding on a sweet train the entire level and avoiding different obstacles that come towards you. What I hate about it is there's sections with tons and tons of enemies, and since you're only playing as Nemo, you can only take 3 hits before you die. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, if you die in this level, it's back to the beginning for you. Have fun. Level 4 brings you to the Night Sea, and this is another level that I loved and hated. It's cleverly designed and it has a whole bunch of new creatures for you to try out, such as the hermit crabs and the fish. The crabs let you do the awesome ability of drilling underground, and the fish even lets you travel in the water faster. But there was one key in this level that I despised getting, and it's in this section right here that looks like a dead end. If you go into this dead end, you'll be brought to another section of the level. Believe me, when I was a kid, I pulled my hair out looking for that key, and finding out that dead end wasn't so dead at all just really bursted my bubble. Level 5 is Nemo's house, and this level is the one that made me shut off the game when I was younger. The keys are very, very cleverly hidden here, and you get introduced to another new animal, the mouse, which gives you the ability to use a hammer. He only has one use though, and that's to break certain blocks that are in your way. The problem with this part is you need to avoid a battalion of flying turtles that spit eggs at you to get to the end, and it's very hard to dodge them. I don't have enough toes and fingers to count how many lives this section took from me when I was younger, and how many it still takes from me to this very day. Other than that part though, it's a much more challenging level than 4, but it's still great fun. Now we're going on to level 6, the Cloud of Ruins, which is a level I love. The particular reason I love this level is it's also based off the beginning of the movie, where Nemo's flying around in his bed and he overlooks a ruined city. The only gripe I do have with this level, though, is that all the keys are just handed to you at the end. After what I went through in Nemo's house, it just goes, oh, here you go. Regardless, getting to the end of the level can be tricky, especially with the segments when you're traveling up and down the ruined city. It's still great fun, though, and it's easily the best stage to use the beat in. Level 7 is Topsy-turvy, the level where everything is upside down. And while I love the cleverness and design of this level, it's also another very, very challenging level. When you die here, you are always sent back to the beginning, no matter where you were. No checkpoints in sight anywheres. There's also a section I hate in this one, and it's exactly like the gorilla part in level 2, only a lot more annoying. You need to crawl up a wall with the mouse while the dandelions from hell are dropping in on you, and once you get to the top, there's a wall you need to bash down. While you're still trying to do this, even more dandelions are trying to kill you, and they'll even trap you in certain cases. Still, if you've come this far, there really is no turning back now, because the next level is the last, and that's where the trouble really begins. Once you beat Topsy-turvy, you'll meet Princess Camille, who looks very odd compared to her movie counterpart. In fact, now that I think about it, even Nemo himself looks different. I don't ever think he had purple hair in the movie. Moving on. She tells you that her father was kidnapped by the King of Nightmare Land, and hold on a second! In the movie, it was Nemo and Flip's fault that her father got kidnapped, and then everyone went to go look for him after that. And then she proceeds to tell you that the Morning Star can defeat the Nightmare King, and she can imbue it with magic power so you can fight him. That never happened in the movie. Heck, the movie would have been half an hour shorter if it was that simple. Here, let me sum up everything that happens at the end in a nutshell for you.
Alright, Nemo, let's open this door.
But I promised the king that I wouldn't.
Let's do it anyways.
Okay.
Nemo, you're going to be Prince of Slumberland. Now hold on to my magical staff that can destroy the evil I locked in my basement while I go party. Whee!
On evil bitches!
If only we destroyed the evil instead of locking it in our basement, this never would have happened.
On evil bitches!
Is that necessary?
Possibly. Why do you ask?
Never mind.
However, I can understand it being a kid's movie being ported to a kid's game, so I guess I can let it slide. At least it follows the source material better than the Home Improvement game did. So now we're in level 8, Nightmare Land, and let me tell you, this level was one of the hardest moments of my younger gaming life. I actually never beat this game when I was a kid just because of this level. That bad. Well, anyways, you now have magic imbued into the Morning Star, which lets you shoot balls of light out of it and not have to worry about collecting keys anymore. This is also the first and only stage in the entire game where there's bosses. There are 3 of them to be exact. The King Penguin, the Manta Ray, and the Nightmare King himself. As such, there are 3 parts of the level to complete, making it the longest level in the game. The first part isn't particularly hard, and it's really nice and short, but you want to end it with as much life as possible for the boss. You can only hit the boss by fully charging up your staff and shooting him with a ball of light. He'll send little penguins and bubbles you need to dodge, so avoid the bubbles and kill the cute little penguins as much as possible. He'll go down easily after a few hits, though. After you defeat him, you move right on to Section 2. This is where I quit. This is the part of the game that ate my childhood for breakfast, puked it back up later at dinner, and slurped it through a straw. I hate this part. One of the sections requires you to get the frog to get to the top of the stage. How do you get the frog? Well, you need to ride the lizard as high as you can and jump back down to where the frog is, just so you can get back up to the top as the frog. This section is made to torture you as a gamer. You have to worry about fire shooting out of the ceiling, the floors, and there's evil dandelion seeds to deal with. You'll lose so many lives trying to survive this part, you will throw your poor NES out of the window in frustration. And after you get past that part, there's another section where you need to carefully avoid the spike-covered ceiling that one hit kills you. It's really not as hard as the first part, but still quite a challenge on you as a gamer. The boss here can be tricky, but he has an easy pattern. The Manta Ray will zoom past the screen really fast and then slow down when he's about to shoot you with fire spouts. Just run over to the other side when he does that and blast him away with your balls of fury and you'll be fine. Section 3 of this level is actually very, very neat. You'll need to keep grabbing different animals so you can get to other animals with different abilities so you can eventually reach the top of the mountain where the Nightmare King is. You'll grab the lizard to climb up the wall and get to the bee, you'll use the bee to fly high enough to reach the mouse, and then you'll use the mouse to climb up the hill. I really like this section a lot, and it's fairly easy to get through. The next room, though, has a crap load of extra lives, which just screams final boss. Just walk up the mountain and drop down to the hole and you'll face... What is that? He looks ridiculous compared to what he looked like in a movie.
Ooh, pajamas do scare me so.
Anyways, Nightmare King will vomit up red slimes that'll follow you around the screen and he'll shoot red laser beams out of his fingers. However, his pattern is really, really easy to catch on to, and it all involves in your part just knowing when to shoot and when to dodge. After you show him that light conquers all, you win! And you get treated to a really, really nice ending, where King Morpheus...
I am Morpheus.
...tells Nemo that he'll make him Prince of Slumberland, and that he could play all day long if he wanted to. Nemo, of course, doesn't think that having fun would be fun, so he instead tells the king he wants to go home so he can wake up early in the morning. I just don't see Nemo's logic in that. I mean, he'd rather go back home and live his boring life instead of staying in Slumberland and having fun? Because, you know, flying around in balloons, learning how to fence, having a cannon that shoots you off into space, and having a fat king that rides around on chains just isn't fun enough?
Because then you'd have to endure this.
On second thought, maybe you should just go back to swiping pies. Before Nemo leaves to go back home, though, the princess decides to send him off with a kiss, which isn't nearly as cute as the one from the movie. I seriously just said that out loud, didn't I?
Sad but true. And it's all on video.
It ends with Nemo looking out the window while the credits roll. What a great ending for a great game. A game that tortured my childhood, sure, but one that I'll never forget as being one of the best and most imaginative movie license games I ever played in my entire life. This game more than deserves the title of Hidden Gem. It's a shame that the game didn't get the recognition it deserved, though, but since it was based off of a movie we didn't get yet, it's more than understandable why NES gamers would just shrug it off. Not to mention the SNES was going to be coming out really soon, meaning the NES would just be left behind while SNES paved the way for more of Nintendo's success. But in the end, I really do love this game. The graphics are great and colorful, the music is very memorable, and the gameplay itself was fun and inventive. It's one of the few games that I would ever forgive for kicking my ass so many times, because I had so much fun playing it, it really didn't matter. This game gets an A+, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you want it to be. It gets all of that in my book, and always will. There, all done. It was a blast, but I think I'm gonna...
No! Where was the suffering? The torment! The undeniable torture that comes with playing a movie-licensed video game. None of that was there, and I refuse to let you leave until you've experienced true pain.
But the deal was...
I make the deals here, player. Correspondence, get me the package.
Welcome, Punch!